Welcome to RTBro's Trading Academy, where we focus on charts, not news or fundamentals, because that can be manipulated to take your money. So, we've had a red day in the market, but we're going to go ahead and do a market update on what's been going on. So, let's dive right in. Now, the first thing we're going to have to acknowledge is the fact that there's some sort of a tension happening over in Ukraine, some possible news going on there. But, like we talked about yesterday, there's absolutely a lot of weakness in this market prior to that actually happening. Well, looks like we're starting to get some sort of a breakdown. However, is the breakdown over? That's the big question we're really looking at. Well, if you guys remember this chart, we talked about it a couple days ago, or we've been talking about it for the last few days. So the overall goal was to sell 75% at the breaker, yearly open, and then redeploy down here, then eventually sell everything up here. I made the decision to not take any profit at this point, and it looks like it may not have been the best decision. However, I made a decision based on the information I had. It may have been the wrong one, but you know what? It is what it is, right? However, what's going to happen now? Well, in our original chart, we were expecting some sort of downtrend, but we do have some levels of support that are coming up very, very soon. So let's go ahead and talk about them on the next chart. So, like we're saying, monthly breaker right here, yearly open. We never actually touched it, got very, very close, but we did go up, and now we rejected back down. So the first level of resistance we're in, right, or the level of support, we're actually in right now because this is a 3-day level that we are technically still holding it. It's a weird situation because it is a 3-day level, but it's also a weekly. We have reclaimed the 3-day, but we haven't reclaimed the weekly. Really weird situation. So it's like a neutral territory right now, right? However, there is a key level right beneath it that I think is really, really important. This right here is a daily breaker, okay? And this daily breaker is a support level. Let's go ahead and make it green. And then if you go to the lower time frame, you can see why it's so significant. This is a clear level of consolidation that we had prior for a continuation up. That's exactly why we use breakers. They help us establish these really good consolidation clusters. So since the bulls and bears already had a fight about this, they went back and forth. There's a level, a lot of contention, lots of liquidity sweeps in either direction. When the price goes back in there, generally this is going to act as some sort of a support because the price was already a predetermined accepted level, and ultimately the bulls did win. So when the price does go back in there, we would assume that this level is going to hold as a support, at least on some sort of a capacity. Well, we have dove in there. We didn't hit exactly the level of consolidation we were looking for, the dead center portion of it, but we have tapped the top side. So is this enough? Possibly. All right, we really don't know yet, guys. All right, but the important thing is that this is a level of support that we cannot ignore. Now, the next thing we need to look at is right here, okay? This is a 4-hour breaker that acted as a lot of support on the, or a lot of resistance on the way back up, right? So we had the capitulation over here, or I'm not saying the capitulation, we had the downtrend go in there. We did form some bullish market structure, came up here, found resistance, 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 eventually broke above it, right? So because this level was a major level of resistance, we would assume that this is also going to act as a major level of support when we get back to it, okay? Now, other level, very similar, I want to show you guys, okay? And I want to give you guys a very clear understanding of how significant this is. So 4-hour level, test, 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 break above, come back in, retest, right? This needs to hold. I'm going to say it again. It needs to hold. Not we want it to hold. It needs to hold, okay? It is that significant to me because if you go back here, way back in March, you're going to see a very similar pattern that was formed, okay? 4-hour breaker right here. And we can see test, 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 broke above, come back down, right? However, this is important. When we came back in to retest this 4-hour level, this one did not hold. And what happened? Well, pretty bad things, right? Came back down, capitulated, and then came back up here, retested that 4-hour breaker once again because it's very significant. And well, you know, that happened, right? May happen, which of course we all remember if we've been in crypto. So this 4-hour level is very significant, just like this 4-hour level is also very significant. So we cannot underestimate it. Now, this one only was formed and messed around with for, you know, like a week maybe. The other one was messed around with for about a month and a half. But either way, I do think that this has a lot of significance. And if we do lose it, it's definitely going to lead for some significant downside. Then our yearly open sweep is absolutely back on the table and possibly a lot worse. Okay, so this level needs to hold. Cannot stress it enough. All right. Ultimately, though, we have a level right here and we have a level right here. So this one first. If we lose it, we need to come here. If we lose that, bad things happen. All right. So one thing at a time. There is a 4-hour break here. I don't really expect it to do much, but you know it's possible, right? This also may be a significant level. So next, I'm going to go over the DXY. DXY is the overall strength of the U.S. dollar compared to other assets. Generally, if the U.S. dollar is strong, crypto is weak, and when crypto is strong, U.S. dollar is weak. Well, as you guys can see, money is flowing out of the traditional stocks and into crypto, or from traditional stocks and from crypto into US dollar. Why? Because we have this whole issue with Ukraine going on, right? It's just too much sense. So this is now money is flowing into the US dollar, so this is actually looking very bullish, which is bearish for crypto. Okay, we have now reclaimed this 3-day breaker. You know, that's not great, but it is what it is, right? So ultimately, what we want to see this thing break back below it now. So this is now going to act as a support level, but we need to see this thing break back below it, right? Look at the interaction here on the low time frame. Test, 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 break above, retest, continuation up. This is perfect if you were bullish on the DXY, which is also bearish for crypto, right? This is a show of weakness for the entire crypto market. Don't underestimate that. So just to understand, this is a thing. This is another bearish pressure we have on the market. Now, DXY is closed during the weekends. It will open back up Sunday at, I believe, like 5 o'clock, depending upon what time you are in the U.S., all right? Now, next to look at is the Dow. Dow Jones also looks really, really weak today. We had a really strong drop. Why? Russia. Again, guys, it is what it is. We really couldn't predict it. Just is what it is. Now, the 200 moving average, which has been fairly well respected, we have now lost it. Once again, not the first time, not the second time. So it's the third time we've lost it. So it's not incredibly significant, but it is something we need to take notice of, right? Let's see. What else? The total 3. Okay, total 3. We have an 8-hour level right here. We are about to retest it, and now it's going to act as a resistance level. Why? Because we lost it. So now when we come back up here, this will be a bearish retest. So this is the key level we're looking at to get above, close above it, to continue going back up. So right now, we're going to assume this is a bearish retest on the total 3. Now, if you guys remember from yesterday, what I tell y'all, 4-hour 200 moving average was very significant, right? Well, told you last night we were looking pretty bearish on it, but we lost it and then we kept falling. So this was our this is the reason why altcoins have dropped so hard today, guys, because the 4-hour 200 moving average was lost. So this is what we were looking for, and sure enough, it did drop pretty freaking harshly. Ultimately, though, don't forget, guys, our overall structure. We're still in this golden pocket. We're still pushing up this golden pocket. We're still pushing up in the weekly breaker. So on the high time frame, we still look fine. Okay, it's this low time frame stuff that looks really garbage right now. But ultimately, we do have all the strength on the Bitcoin, and we do have all these key levels that we're holding. Once we start losing these levels, I'm going to start getting seriously concerned. But until then, I think we're still fine. All right, which is why I'm still adding positions at this level, because ultimately, if you zoom out to the big picture, like this wasn't really that big. All right, it's not that big of a drop, guys. It may seem like it is, but realistically, it's not. And we do have a lot of support in this area. All right, next we're going to talk about is the Bitcoin dominance. This is where it gets a little weird, guys. Daily 200 moving average. The second thing I was talking about last night, we have lost it. It is now gone. That is very bearish for the altcoin market specifically. Okay, altcoin market specifically, this is bearish. So that means more money is going into Bitcoin relative to the altcoins. This does not mean Bitcoin is going to go up or down. It just means that the altcoins are looking weaker in comparison. So if Bitcoin starts dropping, alts are dropping harder. If Bitcoin starts increasing in price, altcoins are increasing in price less aggressively. Okay. So we need to get back below it. Simple as that, guys. We need to get back below it. But the good news is that we do have this weekly breaker right above us, or right inside of our current level. This is a pretty significant level. Okay, so I'm not necessarily giving up on altcoins. Just understand that we are in a very precarious situation right now. We need to start showing some strength. This weekly breaker is our last chance. This is it, guys. This is our last chance for altcoins to do well. If we do lose this level, our last little oorah might be here at 45%, but realistically, I'm looking up here in the 50s, 49 to 50, 51% region. That's a heck of an increase, okay? I assure you, this can really hurt your altcoins if we start getting that push up, okay? So we really want to see it stop here, possibly here. This is going to be a lot of support, but that's a long ways up. All right. Outside of that, I did go ahead and add some ACH today. I talked about for our Patreon members as to why. And request actually looks really good as well. And again, I talked about it to our Patreon members. So if you guys are not Patreon members, if you're not in the Discord, I'd highly suggest you join because, well, it's awesome, guys. I'm going to let you guys go. Stay safe out there. The market's very volatile, but I hope this is a quick rundown of what's going on and what to look for. And I will see you guys in the next video. Like always, deuces, boys. Have a great one.